Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, maybe good night even. I have no idea what time it is over there, but here it's morning, smoking a cigarette, drinking my coffee, and sharing my experiences, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and rants, and whatever on this channel. My channel is called Lightbringer Jeroen because my name Jeroen is impossible for most people to pronounce. It's a kind of weird name. It's really Dutch, so I made it into Jeroen. How you would phonetically write it, I don't know actually, but I tried my best. So there came the Lightbringer Jeroen. What is a Lightbringer? Well, all I've read about it so far is there's two ideas around a light bringer. One is that light bringer or light bearer is tied into Lucifer, and Lucifer is written off as this negative satanic entity, like the devil. It's what they call it in the Bible, and I mean, yeah, that might be true. I don't know. Maybe Lucifer is actually just a being also created by God, trying to have his own divine experience separate from God. I mean, if God is infinite and God created this whole universe, this whole existence, as a consciousness that was not aware of itself, and to become aware of itself, it created all that is. That's a story that's been going on around the internet for quite a while now. And I just like the idea. I mean, for me, it's just an idea. It's a philosophy. It's a way of looking at things. It gets rid of the God is almighty and I'm just a puny, tiny human. Yeah, that doesn't resonate with me. So me being a spark of God, a little piece of consciousness, a individualized piece of consciousness, a tiny fraction of the whole. Yeah, that makes more sense to me, because then everybody is like this, and as a whole we form a collective, and as a collective we are a very powerful being called humanity. And this very powerful being, humanity, we're giving this beautiful planet to have these experiences on. It sounds so much better than an almighty God I have to worship every day, or I have to make sacrifices. And, like here in Indonesia, they're so busy all day with making sacrifices, and maybe that's not actually what the gods want. It's just your fear, and you're trying to please the gods in the hope that you will have a good life, you'll have good karma, which is fine. I mean, it's a great idea to have some sort of some sort of guidance, because if we, as the powerful creatures that we are, were not guided, I think we might have destroyed this earth a million times over already. I mean, the whole nuclear thing, that was crazy. I mean, there were so many rockets in Russia, so many rockets in US, and yeah, I don't know if you know the movie War Games. It's a very old movie, but yeah, there was a computer error, and the Americans thought that the USSR back then launched their nuclear rockets, and so of course they had to retaliate. They have to strike back. So they also sent their rockets, But then on the Russian side, they said, hey, listen, look, they're firing rockets at the motherfuckers, so we're going to fire rockets as well. And it would have destroyed this whole fucking planet, for sure, because it's powerful. The H-bomb, I think nowadays they have much better techniques than H-bomb. No. So it makes sense, the whole Pleiadian story, that they intervened and they said, okay, listen, this rocket business, no, it's not going to happen. So they disarmed all the rockets. Of course, this hasn't been revealed to the public yet. It has. There's leaked files and there's evidence everywhere. But yeah, of course, when you grow up like me, going to school, you get all this knowledge, all these ideas, all these theories, and they present it to you as being the truth, and you take it in because you're like a sponge as a kid, and you're like a blank slate, so you have no idea what the fuck we're doing here. So okay, let's take this on, because yeah, it kind of makes me function normally. But then, yeah, I just saw a video of a guy who was diagnosed with ADHD in his 50s, and suddenly him speaking out because he didn't like With Little White Lies, suddenly him speaking out that he saw a colleague taking credit for something someone else did, he just spoke up. He just... yeah, during the meeting, he would said it like boldly, like, hey, listen, it's like this. Yeah, then you're being difficult. I remember in school, I had so many questions. Because then the teacher, I mean, at chemistry, they would claim like a molecule is the tiniest object there is. But yeah, my nephew, my cousin, he's a bit older, and he was already in I think in the university, and he told me, no, there's way smaller things. There's atoms, so molecules are built out of atoms. And yeah, later on I learned about, oh, even an atom is made of even smaller things like protons, neutrons, electrons. So why the fuck would they teach us in school that a molecule is the smallest thing? Yeah, that's what it said in the small print. It's the smallest thing we can detect. We can actually see through a microscope or something. No, I just from a very young age I started asking questions, and of course I asked difficult questions or the wrong questions, but I just started questioning everything at some point and realizing, wait. So I read this book, this esoteric book about, for example, astrology, and yeah, to a lot of people, they claim astrology is like woo-woo. It's like, no. But they do believe in the whole Freudian and all the other guys. Like, yeah, it's like this is the brain, and the brain is thinking. Well, actually, I don't think the brain is thinking. I sense it more as of a field, like a field here, where the brain, as a radio, is picking up thoughts, vibrations that are in this field. And if I tune my radio to another frequency, to another band of frequencies, like a higher band, then there's this higher knowledge. And I'm pretty sure this was dudes like Einstein and such. They were tuned into this band, not this, like where we see reality and we take everything we see for granted. There's this whole, I'm gonna zigzag a little. There's this whole theory about the Earth being round and revolving around the sun. And not so long ago, in the history of humanity, not so long ago, there was this idea that the Earth is the center and everything revolves around it. Okay, so there was a theory. Everybody, liked that theory apparently. Okay, so it is. And now we have this like, oh no, actually the Earth is revolving around the sun. But then you have these models of the sun also revolving around something, and it's moving like this, the sun, and all the planets, they are like in their wake. That's a completely different model, a completely different way of seeing our star system. And then there's the idea of flat Earth. Like, there's maps even, where you see in the center, you see all the continents. Around all the continents there's a vast ocean, and then on the edge of the ocean there's ice, and all around lots of ice, and then beyond the ice there's other things, which might be true. I don't say it is true, but it might be true. And I mean, we can call these people idiots for thinking the Earth is flat, but so did we say we call them idiots when they say, no, the Earth is actually revolving around the sun. What the fuck do we know? Have you seen it with your own eyes? Ever? Have you ever seen Earth being a round globe because you're looking from the moon to the Earth? Have you ever seen it with your own eyes? Not just pictures or movies or projections or models. No, have you ever seen it with your own fucking eyes? No, for sure not. So, I looked in astrology, and astrology made a lot of sense to me, because at some point I was so into astrology, I could pretty much guess people's birthday. And especially when I looked into this Chinese astrology, which is based on the year you're born, I could pretty much tell, you're born in this and this year, because it's a cycle of 12. Like, it's pretty easy. You come off as this and this person, so you're probably this and this. And I think 70%, 75%, I was right. And they were surprised, like, how do you know? Yeah, because it's, if you understand astrology, like the blueprint, your soul blueprint, it's what I started recognizing. I started recognizing the soul blueprint. I saw like the soul blueprint, like, you behave in such a way that fits one of the 12 signs. And then later on I found out there's 13 signs, and there's so much stuff hidden, and there's so much knowledge now coming out, now being available through internet, and there's too much. I can really understand that from a lot of people it's too much. There's too much information, because we used to live in this like tiny box, and it was like pretty comfortable in this tiny box. I mean, you had like your reality and the reality outside there, and out there it was dangerous. So something to fear. So of course you box off your reality to protect yourself, which makes sense. And this is why we lived in tribes, and later on we lived in cities, and later on we lived in nations, and now we are like slowly becoming one nation, one global people. Slowly, because it will take some time, and it might go very fast. This is something I loved about the whole Star Trek, Star Wars, all these like alien invaders. I think if there would be like an alien invasion or an alien threat, we as a humanity would step up and say, okay, let's fight these motherfuckers. Brother, you're from China, don't give a fuck, let's fight together. All right. I said I'm on a zigzag. For me, and this is the point, this made all the difference to me as soon as I realized truth is not a static given. It's not like truth is like this, and this is how it is, and will always be. No, no, actually, then we would still believe the earth is flat and everything revolves around it, which is fine, maybe, if that would serve us well. Like we do now think this round thing revolving around the sun, which could be. No, for me truth is dynamic, and it's very dynamic because it is your perspective, your way of looking at it. I'm not sure what the difference is between perception and perspective, but the way you look at things influences what you're seeing. And for some this is already like a well-known fact. For many it still isn't. For many it's still like, listen, I was taught this and this and this is true, that and that is false. Everything that's false I should stay away from. I understand. But if you're willing to be open at least to using your own view, your own way of looking at things, your own experience, then things will change. Things will change drastically. But you have to let go, and this is a difficult part, but you have to let go of truth being a static given. So what you experience at that moment might not actually be what you think it is, what you were taught it is. I mean, I can astral travel. I can give a person an healing. I send my energy all across the globe because there's no distance, there's no time. I can give someone a healing like I am physically there in the room with them. And people have told me this, like it really felt like you. And so I give this healing, and in my imagination, let's call it that, I had my hands on their shoulders, and they said afterwards, yeah, it felt like you were standing behind me and had your hands on my shoulders. Well, how do you explain that? I mean, call it fantasy, call it whatever. For me, it's just, I understand, studying Rudolf Steiner and Blavatsky, and there's so many more who explain what astral traveling is, that we have like an astral body, a non-physical body that can travel through time and space. It makes sense. I'm just there in the room with the person giving healing, and I'm not healing, I'm not fixing the other person. No, I channel a kind of energy, an information stream, and the other person goes into another state of being and also connects with their higher self, and they receive their information, they receive their new reality. Okay, it's not what I wanted to talk about, but it's yeah, maybe a little eye-opener to another topic for another video. Alright, thank you for listening. thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences, share my view. And I'm not claiming this to be the truth. No, quite the opposite. It's just my perspective. And so take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't, as you should always have done already, even in school. Like, don't take everything you hear for granted. No. And it becomes so worse also after this. So don't take anything for granted, except all that we shove down your throat. Take that for granted. Reverse that, please. Relieve yourself. Release yourself of this mental prison. Be open to any possibilities, infinite possibilities, and your mind will be blown away. You'll be like, whoa, really? Yes, really. All right. Thanks, guys. See you in the next.